You're safe now. Take a slow, deep breath in. ... And gently let it go. Feel your shoulders soften. Your jaw unclench. Let the weight of the day melt away like snow in spring sunlight. Wherever you are, allow this moment to be yours. Here, there are no worries, no expectations, just warmth, ... and rest. Now, close your eyes if you haven't already. Feel the hush settle around you like a soft woolen blanket. The fire crackles low in the hearth. The room is dim, touched only by golden light, flickering on old wooden beams. You can smell oak smoke, a faint trace of spiced cider, and something like beeswax on polished wood. Outside, a gentle wind rustles the ivy against the stone walls, and somewhere, far off, an owl calls once, then falls silent. All is still, and so, our story tonight begins. The Bard's Lullaby by the Hearth. It was long ago, in a village whose name has faded from most maps, tucked in a crescent valley between ancient trees. Here, the road wound slow and thoughtful, as if it too had grown tired and wished to rest. In the heart of this quiet place stood an oak, and the swan and thistle. Its roof was most soft and humped like a sleeping dog. Windows glowed warmly through hand-blown glass, and inside, soft candlelight trembled on every beam. That night, most of the villagers had already drifted to their rooms, up the creaky stairs, wrapped in quilts and silent. Only a few logs still snapped in the hearth. And beside it sat the Bard. He was not young, though no one could say just how old. Hair the color of early frost brushed his shoulders, and his cloak smelled faintly of lavender and rain. In his lap lay a Rebec, a three-stringed cousin of the violin, its wood darkened by decades of touch. He did not speak. Not yet. He let the hush settle deeper, until even the fire seemed to lean in to listen. Then softly he began to play. The melody was simple, gentle, just a few notes that swayed like branches in wind. It was a tune made for cradle dash, rockin' ... for star watching ... for drifting. And then he sang. His voice was a thread of warmth woven through the timber of the room. Not loud, never loud, but certain, like the tide or sleep, sleep, sleep. Oh, traveler worn by starlit fields and forest thorn, lay down thy head where embers glow, and let the silver rivers flow. The song, they said, had come from the north, where frost blooms like lace on every window, and children are rocked to sleep by the crackle of lake ice. But the Bard had gathered songs from many lands, verses traded like rare spices in castle courtyards, all gifted beside campfires in far-off glens. He had once played for kings, though he never said who. And once, in a market square so loud with bells and laughter that even the pigeons clapped their wings to the beat. But tonight, he sang only for the fire and the shadows and those tucked just beyond dreaming. Outside, the wind curled low across the cobbled yard, rattling the old inn sign like a lullaby chime. The Bard paused. He looked to the window, but not out. No. He seemed to look through it, beyond the night, as if reading a memory sewn into the stars. And then his fingers danced again. This song was slower, older. You could feel it in the way the notes leaned into one another, like stories passed from one whisper to the next, where the rowan leans and shadows pool, and the moon dips low as a golden spool. Their dreams are spun with hush and thread, to wrap you soft within your bed. There were those who believed, in times long past, that bards did not just entertain. They were keepers, memory weavers. They stitched kingdoms together with melody, and some said their songs could charm dreams, like sailors calling stars to the sea. The Rebec strings trembled faintly, like frost-laced leaves under dew. The bard closed his eyes. He played slower still, each note falling like candle wax offshore, and golden the fireside, the rafters whispered. And in the rooms above, a child turned in their sleep, smiling faintly, drawn by the lullaby that wandered like a gentle fox through the air. So hushed he now, oh wanderer fair, and dream beyond the moonlit stair, where hearth smoke curls and silence sings, and peace is found in quiet things. The song ended, but he did not move. For some magic lives in the stillness after music, like the hush between tides. He placed the Rebec gently down, his strings warm from his touch, and then he leaned back in his chair, watching the fire as it too began to dream. The bard's lullaby still echoes faintly through time, a soft hum in the soul of night, a promise that somewhere, always, there is a hearth waiting and a song to carry you home. Soft whisper, you're safe now. Let the hush hold you. Breathe, drift, sleep. The hour grew deeper. The kind of deep that makes time slow and then soften, where the world curls into itself like a cat before sleep. The bard had not left the fire, nor had he stirred, but something in the air had changed, quieter, somehow, like the earth itself exhaled. In that stillness, the hearth glowed, no longer just warm with flame, but with memory, with story. And as the wind brushed once more across the thatch above, you could almost hear it, a whisper, not of words, but of places, of nights long past, of songs not sung, but remember. The bard opened a small satchel beside his stool, worn leather, soft with years. Inside teeny scrolls, folded parchment, and tucked in the corner, a smooth stone moon pale, etched with an unfamiliar rune. He ran his thumb across it once, then again, not as habit, but like a ritual, a gentle stirring of something ancient. Then, slowly, he lifted his Rebec again, not to perform, but to summon. This time, no words came, only notes, low and tender. Each tone bloomed like mist over still water. The melody stretched out, and the end seemed to stretch with it. Walls soft, the ceiling faded into dust. And if you listen, truly listen, you'd swear the very stars leaned in to hear. For this was not a song for kings, not for feasts or coin of praise. This was a lullaby made for wanderers, for those who travel not just across roads, but through thoughts, through dreams. Somewhere in the very back of the inn, an old hound stirred in its sleep, then settled again, muzzle tucked under paw, ears flicking toward the music. The wind outside hushed. Even the trees, it seemed, held still. And the bard began to speak, not loudly, not even clearly. It was more like a story told from behind a curtain of sleep, half in word, half in breath. There was once a child, he whispered, born beneath the frostberry moon. No name, no song, only silence. But on the seventh night, a falling star crossed the sky and left music in the cradle. He said the child never cried, only hummed tunes no one had taught, songs as old as rain. His fingers moved again, plucking threads of melody from the night like silk. And when the child grew, he murmured, they wandered from hill to shore, from glen to gate, following the wind. Wherever they went, the world soft, horses calmed, children dreamed sweeter. Even the storm clouds seemed to forget their thunder. The bard paused, let the story settle like dust and lamplight. Then he leaned close, his voice like a secret wrapped in velvet greater than. They say that every bard who wanders now, each one who carries a rebec or flute or tail, is an echo of that first song. And when they sing, the world remembers how to rest. He did not say, Mom, he did not need to. The fire cracked once, as if in quiet agreement. And in the hush that followed, his song returned. But this time, The song did something different. It moved through the air like a feather caught in a sunbeam. And it carried you not away, but inward. You're no longer in it. You are floating still, but not stuck. Safe, but not bound. Above you, stars blink like lullabies. Beneath, a forest murmurs in its sleep, leaves rustling with the breath of owls. Somewhere distant, a brook giggles over stones, its voice like bells wrapped in moss. And all around, the bard's song weaves through you, not playing to you, but with you. As if your own heartbeat has found a rhythm in it, as if you always knew this lullaby, but forgot until now. So hush, oh hearts that wander far, come rest beside the twilight star. The night is kind, the wind is low, and all the roads now homeward go. You are no longer listening. You are within the song. Your breath has swooped, each exhale like a wave against the shore. You are weightless, cradled in melody, held in hush. Back in the inn, the bard slowly quieted his strings, one note, then another, then silence. Not the empty kind, the full kind. The kind of silence that swells like dusk before the stars bloom. He laid his Rebec down gently, draped a soft cloth over its face, like tucking in an old friend. Then he rose. Only the faint creak of the stool beneath him gave him away. He walked to the hearth, paused, and stared into the flames, not to watch them, but to remember something long ago. And then he smiled. Not a big smile, not for anyone else, just the kind you wear when you know the story ended well. He whispered, more breath than voice, greater than sleep well, little world. May all your dreams be so. Then, cloak drawn close, he stepped into the shadows and was gone. But the warmth stayed, the hush stayed, the song stayed, in the rafters, in the floorboards, in your heart. And now, you too may rest, just as you are, softly held in the folds of story and stillness. No need to move, no need to think, only this, the hush, the hush, the hush. Soft fading whispers, sleep now. You're wrapped in story. You're safe. Let go. Sleep.